Okay, how we doing, folks? Rich Van Tassel here with you. Today is April 12th, Tuesday, April 12th, 2016. Your weekly NBA report. This will be the last NBA report of the season, or well, of the regular season, that is. We'll go into depth in the playoffs, be giving you as much news as we can come playoff time. So, Tuesdays we'll still have stuff, but obviously it'll just be playoff related and not weekly NBA reports. So getting into it, the Eastern Conference, the playoffs are all set as far as the teams that will participate. All the 8 teams that are in the playoffs right now are going to be going. They're still seeding up for grabs. Toronto cannot get the number 1 seed, so Cleveland has clinched the 1 seed. Toronto has clinched the 2 seed. Now the teams 3 through 6 still very much bunched up. You have the Atlanta Hawks 48 and 33, the Miami Heat 47 and 33, then the Boston Celtics and Charlotte Hornets 47 and 34 respectively. Going to be very interesting with the final games. Now, if the Celtics beat Miami, they're almost certainly going to be the 4th seed unless all the teams finish 48 and 34. Then the Celtics drop down to 6th seed because of tiebreakers. Washington and Atlanta are going to be going at it in their final game of the season. Miami has Detroit tomorrow, then plays the Boston Celtics on Wednesday. And the Charlotte Hornets finish up against. Who do Charlotte finish up against? Checking that right now. Don't know why I haven't been able to see it yet. Charlotte finishes up against the Magic tomorrow on Wednesday. So you would expect Charlotte to win. It's very possible all teams will finish 48 and 34. I can certainly see that happening because Washington, while they've had a disappointing season, it looks like they've come out and want to at least finish 500, so they could possibly beat Atlanta. Um, but Miami could lose tonight to the Detroit Pistons, so it's going to be interesting to see. Still a lot of things left to play out. Indiana and Detroit are battling it out for the 7th and 8th spots, which would avoid Cleveland if you get the 7th spot in the first round. Indiana holds the tiebreaker, so we'll see how that goes. Chicago got themselves a game above 500. They will finish at least 500 or better. So, should they win their final game of the season, you would have teams 1 through 9 being all above 500. Considering the way the Eastern Conference has been in the past, that's certainly going to be an accomplishment. And Washington can get up to 500 themselves with a victory. So, if teams 1 through 10 finish 500 or better, you would have to be very complimentary of the Eastern Conference this season because of what we've seen in the past. Last year, the Celtics were the 7th seed at 40 and 42. Orlando Magic finishing out the string. They got the 35 wins, so next year, look for them to make their way up. Milwaukee Bucks are concluding their disappointing season. They'll avoid 50 losses no matter what. But still, I was expecting a lot more from the Bucks with the additions of Greg Monroe. I thought Jabari Parker would be coming into his own, and Giannis Antetokounmpo has had a very good season. But you were just expecting more from this team. The Knicks 32 and 49. Can they avoid 50 losses? They cannot double up their win total. They can get to 33, which would be 1 game shy of doubling up their wins. Let's see how they move forward going into next season. The Brooklyn Nets, obviously, they are terrible this year. They've lost 9 going down the stretch. Going to help the Celtics out with that pick. And the Philadelphia 76ers, of course, they fired Sam Hinkie. And now we'll see where they move on from here. They're 10 and 70, a horrible year by them, obviously, and you got to wonder just what they're doing. They'll obviously be looking for another high draft pick again, but they've had a few high ones, and they still are losing 70 games. Moving to the Western Conference, Golden State will make their run at history tomorrow. They are 72 and 9. A win would make them 73 and 9 and the best record all time in NBA history. The San Antonio Spurs at 65 and 15. They were defeated by the Golden State Warriors, so still 40 and 1 will be the best home mark ever. Of course, the Celtics set that in 1986. San Antonio can tie that with a win. They're locked into the 2 spot though. They're not going anywhere. Oklahoma City at 55 and 26. They are locked into the 3rd spot as well. Let's see if they rest up. The Los Angeles Clippers on a 5 game winning streak. They've got Blake Griffin back, 9 and 1 in the last 10. They can't get out of that 4th spot, which would mean Golden State in the second round. But this team is talking about how they feel they're the biggest threat to Golden State. So you play them whenever at this point. Portland has been able to climb all the way up to the 5th spot. Give them a lot of credit. Terry Stotts almost certainly going to get my vote for Coach of the Year this year. They have a half game lead over the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies play 2 more games. They play the Clippers tonight, and they finish with Golden State tomorrow. I expect them to lose both. They may even fall as far as seventh. Been a tough year for the Grizzlies. They're going to have a short playoff run. Give them credit for making the playoffs with all the injuries. Some teams may have put it in the tank, but they've come out and they've shown a lot of professionalism, but the injuries are just too much. I believe 28 different players have worn a Grizzlies uniform this season. The Dallas Mavericks, I thought they were going to miss the playoffs. They had that 6-game winning streak. They beat the Utah Jazz yesterday. They're 42-39. A win to finish out their season. They will be 43-39. And again, a win and a Grizzlies loss would mean they get up to the 6th seed, which would mean Oklahoma City. Um, Dallas is playing San Antonio to finish off the season. San Antonio will be on the second night of a back-to-back, however, and Dallas is home. I would expect Dallas to get that win. However, Dallas has shown a propensity to play very well against San Antonio in the playoffs. So you don't want to say you're looking forward to the Spurs, but there's certainly no reason to expect they can't play with the Spurs, and I think they match up a lot better with San Antonio than they do Oklahoma City. Houston Rockets at 40-41 and the Utah Jazz at 40-41. Utah really missed a big opportunity yesterday. They lost to the Dallas Mavericks. Houston now controls their own destiny. A win tomorrow night against the Sacramento Kings, who are not even playing DeMarcus Cousins, will put them in the playoffs. Utah is playing the Lakers. They win and a Houston loss. Utah gets the playoff spot. So, or if both teams lose, then Utah goes. You would like to see one of the two teams win, so every team in the Western Conference playoffs is 500 or better. Sacramento 33-48. Let's see if they can get the win. They've avoided 50 losses. Again, I had them at the 8th seed. They really struggle with DeMarcus Cousins off the court. Let's see if DeMarcus Cousins is playing his last game in Sacramento. Denver Nuggets, give them a lot of credit. Not much expected of them. They were able to win 33 games and avoid 50 losses. New Orleans Pelicans, one of the more disappointing teams this season. They're 30-51. They have to get Anthony Davis right, obviously, and figure out what they're going to do. The Alvin Gentry hiring, I was not opposed to it. I thought Monty Williams had his run. And again, I've said it many times. Had you kept Monty Williams, I would have been fine with it. Had you fired Monty Williams, I would have been fine with it. But certainly, it's not looking like a good decision now. Minnesota Timberwolves 28-53. They had those impressive wins over Portland and over Golden State. They've shown improvement, at least 12 games, possibly 13. We discussed Andrew Wiggins on Friday. Let's see how well they'll move forward going into next year. The Phoenix Suns have got a lot of things to figure out, as well as the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, your power rankings, the final top 5 power rankings of the year. Obviously, Golden State Warriors #1, San Antonio #2. I don't know if there's been anyone who's been 1 or 2 this whole season. Cleveland may have gotten a spot in there, but I would check, but I'm just too lazy to do it, to be honest. Cleveland Cavaliers #3, Oklahoma City Thunder #4, and #5. You got to give it to the Los Angeles Clippers right now, 9-1 in their last 10 games, though the Toronto Raptors have a better record. All right, so that is it for the April 12th, 2016 weekly NBA report, your final of the regular season. We'll be getting into the playoffs Friday. Any flash news alerts, obviously, we'll be giving you my votes for the all NBA teams, the MVPs, Defensive Player of the Years, all rookie, all defense, and the special for mine, the all reserve team. We'll go into more of that when we are filling out the awards and casting the ballots, and we'll let you all know those. And of course, with the playoffs, very exciting. I'm going to give you guys as much news as I can and keep it coming. But hey, when we get to the playoffs, we'll do that. I'll be a busy bee for that. So thank you all for a great season. Be sure to stay tuned for the playoffs. I've really appreciated your support. We're starting to pick up more and more views. So I'm thankful to all of you who have helped me do that. And hopefully with the playoffs, we can continue to move forward. So be sure to stay tuned, guys. And we're really excited for the NBA playoffs.